need for manual checks. Ideal for the elderly and sports enthusiasts.
Africa has the biggest gold reserves in the world, but did you know that these African countries with abundant gold reserves actually end up exporting almost all of it? What happens is that foreign companies, mainly companies from Western countries, come in, mine the gold, and then ship it back home. In return, these African countries only see a small portion of the profits, instead of getting a fair share or even keeping some of the gold themselves. This unfair system is one of the key reasons why so many African nations are still poor and face challenges in stabilizing their economies. Their precious resources are essentially being drained away. But here's something interesting. The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, is taking a stand against these exploitative practices. Recently, he issued a bold order banning all gold exports. Instead, Burkina Faso will retain its gold to back up its currency.
Okay, first off, their known gold supply is about 54 tons a year. That's 54 tons. 104,000 pounds a year is what they've documented turning over into the gold world. Only half of their gold gets turned over to the gold world because before Burkina Faso's president or dictator, whatever you want to call him, took power, about 50% of their gold was taken out of their country, and no one knew about it by small miners that didn't report their gold, known as artisanal welding or mining. And that was they projected about half of the gold of that country was leaving that country without even being documented, or the people in that country being able to get any of that money. Ibrahim Traore stopped that, consolidated everything, and now
this move aims to make Burkina Faso's currency the only one in the world pegged to gold, potentially making it extremely valuable.
Holy cow, everyone.
So, how did President Traore implement?
Everyone wants that dinar because it's supposed to be valuable. Let me tell you what, right now, this country right here, buy their bills because it's fixing to go up. They're going to be the only country in the world with a 100% gold-backed currency. Tell me that's not
this ban, and what has been the reaction from Western nations whose gold markets have been disrupted? Let's dive into the details in this video. What's unfolding in Burkina Faso is something that those who wish to see Africa remain independent could never have imagined. Burkina Faso is making a bold move toward economic independence under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore by creating its own treasury deposits bank. According to the latest official announcement,
I believe this is the same thing that Muammar Gaddafi wanted to do, back Libya's currency with gold, and he was assassinated. Well, this guy's got the backing of Putin.
President Traore inaugurated the new bank, known as BDT, on Friday, August 2nd, 2024, at its headquarters within the public treasury in Ouagadougou. This isn't just the launch of a bank, it's a significant step toward reclaiming the nation's financial sovereignty. The BDT aims to provide accessible banking.
Basically, what he's doing is he's telling the world's central banks to go screw themselves. He's had 5 assassination attempts on his life in the past 3 months. And now he's doing this. He's probably going to have five more assassination attempts on his life because of what he is actually doing. You need to pay attention to this because world leaders want him dead for doing what he's doing.
Banking services to all citizens, with a network that stretches across regional, provincial, and departmental treasuries, ensuring that everyone, no matter where they are located, can benefit. As a public financial institution, the Treasury Deposits Bank will serve a broad range of clients, including public institutions, state companies, local authorities, international organizations, private businesses, NGOs, and individuals. Its primary mission is to handle the banking functions of the public treasury, offering services like account management, resource collection, and transaction processing. The BDT will also introduce digital payment methods and develop innovative banking services to meet the evolving needs of its customers. The establishment of the Treasury Deposits Bank is a critical milestone for Burkina Faso as it strides toward full monetary sovereignty. For years, Francophone countries like Burkina Faso have lacked true central banks of their own, relying instead on institutions like the Central Bank of West African States, often viewed.
I don't think people understand the source of most current ideologies. And what this course is going to show us is where they originated and how they took control of our society.
As extensions of the Bank of France. Now Burkina Faso is taking control of its own financial destiny. European countries, despite lacking their own gold mines, have managed to accumulate vast reserves of gold that is, in fact, taken from African nations. President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso is acutely aware of this exploitation, where foreign companies extract enormous quantities of gold from his country, leaving Burkina Faso with only a fraction of its wealth. In a bold move, Traoré has put a stop to this by banning gold exports and taking back control of Burkina Faso's resources. His government has swiftly halted the issuance of export permits for artisanal and semi-mechanized.
Artisanal, that's what it's called, artisanal mining. Half of their gold was leaving the country through that. He just made that illegal, and they are no longer exporting 54 tons of gold into the COMEX. That means the COMEX has been drained by 54 tons this year because Burkina Faso is not selling it to the world. They're keeping it for themselves. That should help gold price go up because there's a lack of supply being added into the market of 54 tons this year. The year that everybody is wanting to buy gold, Burkina Faso is not letting it out. They're keeping it for themselves. Smart move.
Mechanized gold, along with other precious materials.
What's up,
This means
Crystal?
that no gold mined
Space
within
miner?
Burkina Faso will be allowed to leave the country. Traoré has made it clear that this suspension is part of a broader strategy
Listen to
to clean
this.
up the gold sector and better manage the marketing of these valuable resources. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and the changing landscape.
Just keep
Let's get
listening.
back to it. It's worth noting that around 10 to 30 tons of gold are mined artisanally in Burkina Faso each year. Going forward, Burkina Faso will be holding onto this gold, as well as the gold extracted by foreign companies. Traoré is taking immediate and firm action, evidenced by the recent closure of 43 gold mining sites
Hey,
in the
James.
Dumu region in the northwest of the country, citing security concerns. But the changes don't stop at just banning exports. Burkina Faso's government has taken a huge step forward by launching the
What's up,
country's
Dutch?
first gold refinery, a vital move toward reclaiming control over its
Oh my
most
God,
precious
these guys are
mineral
going to
resource.
control the world, people.
This new refinery, based in the capital, Ouagadougou, is set to produce about 400 kilograms of gold per day.
Per day, they are going to control 400 kilograms of gold a day. Right now, this country controls nothing. They give it all away. They get stolen from them. They're taking and changing that. The country right beside them, Mali, Niger, they're going to follow suit. This is going to be revolutionary for the gold market and for gold-backed currencies worldwide. CDBC is dead with this move. This is another reason why I'm bringing you this live stream.
According to Ismail Saibi, CEO of Marina Gold, the company co-managing the project, the refinery is expected to produce its first 22-karat gold bars in just 11 months. At the launch event, Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, emphasized the significance of refining gold domestically. He made it clear that Burkina Faso will no longer need to send its gold abroad for refining. Instead, the entire process will take place within the country, ensuring that Burkina Faso retains knowledge and control over the true content of its raw
Steiner,
gold.
Hausenbergerdorf.
Despite gold's crucial role in the nation's economy, Burkina Faso has long struggled to fully manage this key resource. Traoré highlighted that
What's
a
up, Matthew?
significant portion of the country's gold has been leaving through illegal channels, which has contributed to ongoing issues with extremism. This move toward refining gold domestically aligns with a broader trend among African nations, many of which are turning to gold as a safeguard against currency instability and geopolitical risks. Other African countries like Uganda, Nigeria, Tanzania and Madagascar are taking bold steps to bolster their gold reserves by purchasing gold domestically. This shift is largely driven by concerns over the stability of the U.S. financial system
See,
and
hear
the
that?
potential risks of relying too heavily on the U.S. dollar.
You hear that?
These nations are keen to diversify their reserves and reduce their dependence on foreign currencies.
So we have countries that are going to be backing their own currency with gold to protect themselves from other world currencies. In that statement, that country stated no to CDBC, 100% emphatically no to CDBC, and no to other people controlling their currency. You are going to find, and it's going to start in West Africa, it's going to be a trend. This country, Burkina Faso, is starting it. Niger, Mali, Ivory Coast, and several others are going to follow them. And it's going to revolutionize our economic system. And it's coming out of Africa. That's why for the past year and a half or so, I've been doing geopolitical stuff on Africa, because they are the genesis. This is the genesis of a new money system for the world. The beginning.
However, a more pressing challenge is the influence France holds over the reserves of many African countries. In light of this, Burkina Faso's new gold refinery marks a crucial move towards securing
And the
its
fact that
economic
they're
future.
making their own refinery.
By refining its gold
100%
locally, Burkina
control of
Faso
it.
can keep more of its wealth within its borders
Like
and
it's just
curtail
saying.
the illegal gold trade that has been fueling conflict and instability. This locally refined gold will also play a key role.
What he just said there was it's been fueling instability because they haven't had control of their gold. That's because the artisan mines was the creator of 50% of the gold that Burkina Faso had, and it went straight to terrorist organizations in that area of the world. So not only is what he's doing starting a gold-backed currency, at the same time, he's killing terrorist funding that came from his country through the illegal artisan gold mining industry. This guy is a freaking genius, and he's going to change West Africa, and that's going to change the world. Keep an eye on these guys. I'm telling you, Burkina Faso.
In building the country's gold reserves, paving the way for the launch of a sovereign currency. The government is reportedly set to introduce several changes to the 2015 mining code, which was recently updated in July 2023.
Keep listening, Chad.
One of the most significant updates is the plan to create a national gold reserve. As per a Council of Ministers meeting held in March 2024.
What he just said, there's going to start a national council of gold. Right now, they don't have one. This guy is doing exactly what Omar Gaddafi wanted to do in Libya when we assassinated him and went to war in Libya. Imro Traoré is doing with the backing of the Russian government. He is creating a gold-backed currency for that nation. There is no 100% gold-backed currency on this planet right now. He is starting one. This is huge financially. A lot of people are going to pick up on this story, people. A lot of people are going to pick up on this.
Burkina Faso intends to ask mining companies to contribute to this reserve. The updated mining code also brings new regulations for marketing gold and other minerals, aiming to create a more structured and transparent industry. In addition to banning gold exports, the government is actively involving mining companies in building up the country's national reserves. This initiative reflects the kind of sovereignty that many African nations are striving to achieve. The updated...
Okay, that key right there. It is an indicator of the sovereignty. I've said this many times on other channels. A country's currency is its sovereignty. If it gives away its currency, it gives away its sovereignty. So basically, with a country that goes to a CDBC is selling their people into slavery. And Africa does not want that. I've done many reports on this. They want the exact opposite. And as this gentleman just said, Burkina Faso is the first country to do this of many that will follow. It is an avalanche that's coming, and this is the start of it. Get prepared, people. Get prepared.
The mining code also places a strong emphasis on increasing local participation in the...
When I told Trump about this, he urged me to get this message out to as many true patriots.
Yeah, and
as I
he was
can.
looking at you just like
mining
that.
sector. Companies are now required to offer shares to Burkinabe investors and local officials have been given greater power to monitor and regulate mining activities. The state's mandatory stake in mining companies, which is necessary for obtaining a mining license, has been increased from 10% to 15%.
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering how this is going to affect you guys personally, if you're invested in Fortuna silver mines, Fortuna Gold, they have a gold mine over here. They just got shut out of until Eber Trude decides to let Westerners and Western companies and other companies back in. So Fortuna is probably going to take a hit to their stock price. Just a heads up before they tell you.
This change aims.
You heard it here first on Niels Han Dynasty, telling the future of the gold mining stocks for Fortuna. They're fixing to take a hit because of this move.
To ensure that Burkina Faso benefits more directly from its natural resources. As a result of these efforts, Burkina Faso's declared artisanal gold production saw a significant jump, rising from 266 kilograms in 2021 to 457 kilograms in 2022. This boost in production has had a noticeable impact on the state's revenue, with direct contributions to the state budget increasing from 430.9 billion CFA francs in 2021 to 540.9 billion CFA francs in 2022.
If you guys know anything about economics, that is one of the biggest boosts to an economy you could ever have. All that extra money from the artisanal mining that was leaving the system and not getting counted. In 2023, it started getting counted, and they are building up a stockpile of reserves, gold. This country is going to be rocking the Casbah. If you want, and this is not financial advice, but if you want to make money, invest in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and the Ivory Coast, and the countries that are going to follow these guys, because their whole economy is going to get one hell of a big boost, and anyone who's involved in it will enjoy the ramifications of that big boost.
Impressive rise of 110 billion CFA francs. Gold continues to be Burkina Faso's leading export, with revenues from gold exports reaching an estimated 1 trillion CFA francs, making up 73.86%.
73% of the country's exports are in gold, and they only had half of them because of theft of the artisanal mining. That's why they shut down the mines. So that means this country's going to
of the country's
it's
export.
It's the new.
This solidifies gold's status as the top export product for Burkina Faso since 2009. Ibrahim Traore's accomplishments so far are truly remarkable.
Yeah, Space Miner.
He hasn't just stopped gold exports. He's also introduced the country's gold refinery to handle the processing of raw gold. The plan is to channel all this gold into Burkina Faso's first state bank, which will then use it.
Burkina Faso's first state bank. Remember that name. It is the first bank in the history, our recent history on this planet, of a bank that's going to compete with every central bank out there. And this is an independent country bank being created that's going to compete with the central banking system. I'm telling you, people, this is revolutionary. This is the start of something big. It might get crushed real fast because all the central banks are going to jump on them. But people, I'm telling you, keep an eye on this. This is the linchpin.
To back a new currency. This means the CFA franc will soon be a thing of the past. Instead, a new currency will be introduced, one that's backed by gold rather than tied to the colonial era financial system. This move will give Burkina Faso true financial independence, allowing the country to control its own wealth and capital.
Hold on now. If it's going to, for the first time in history, have true financial independence, how hard do you think it's going to be to get them on a CDBC when they don't want to be slaves anymore and they're free for the first time financially and literally?
What do you think? Should other African leaders follow suit and ban the export of gold?
Yes, I 100% agree they should.
It's clear that for Africa.
But anyhow, there we go, people. I wanted to bring that to you so you could get a good feel of what's going on in the world. So I know a lot of people ain't going to bring you breaking news from Niels News Network. I need to start a channel called Niels News Network. Okay, let's see. I got another shared screen here from Space Miner. And this is yours, Space Miner.
Well, here it is. It's a necklace pendant.
Sorry.
What do you guys think? Do you like it? Look at that glitter. Oh my goodness.
That is gorgeous.
But Dow. Look at that blue. Can you see how blue the metal is?
Osmium has a natural blue
You guys
hue.
think you like it? Necklace pendant?
I love it.
So this is a diameter 5 vapor crystallized osmium diamond.
Nice
Diameter 5
piece.
diamond vapor crystallized osmium. Set in sterling silver pendant. Dow. Here, let's get you a little side profile of the pendant.
Need a double-sided.
And those are cubic zirconia set in all those little voids. Okay. Let's open it up and let you see the side. Dow. There it is. What do you guys think? Is this worthy of the osmium world, huh? Is this what vapor crystalline osmium was really all about? Jewelry.
Way to go, Space
I like
Miner.
it. All right, guys. One more time. Diameter 5. Vapor crystallized osmium set in sterling silver necklace pendant. Probably good for a 14 gauge chain.
Hook up with Ian. He's
And,
setting up a sales ring.
That being said, hope y'all like it. And Space Miner is checking out.
Boing. Space Miner is out. Good call, Space Miner. That was a very nice pendant. If anyone wants to come up on the panel, you're more than welcome to. It's pinned at the top. But I just wanted to bring you this live stream because I saw that on Burkina Faso, and they said they stopped all gold exports and they're going to start their own bank. And it's not a central bank, it's an independent bank. And they're going to have 100% gold-backed money system. So they're not going to be getting oh my God, this move, every country that mines gold is going to quit. This is a new trend. This trust me, this is going to happen. There's a new trend that's going to start. You're going to start hearing about it. Countries are going to stop exporting gold and they're going to start hoarding it till they get the supply they need, because they're going to figure out that instead of selling it for fiat cash, if they hold it in this next economic cycle of this change that we're going to have, they'll be wealthier rather than selling it to central banks. And independent countries and states will be hoarding gold. As a matter of fact, I did a show about 2 years ago. There's 5 or 6 states here in the United States that for their own personal GDPs have been gathering gold, sticking it in their treasuries for 4 to 5, 6 years now. So there are countries or states in America that have been basically not hoarding gold, but gathering sums of it. And that's not reported on the national level. That's independent state. So when it comes to, oh, America has 8,000 tons of gold, whatever, and you don't believe it, well, that's cool, because individual states' gold holdings are not counted in that national gold holdings. They're separate, and people don't understand that. So if the federal government wanted to confiscate gold, they could go to the states who have tons of it and say, hey, we're taking your gold to pay off the national debt or to start a new currency. And our gold reserves jumps by about 80 to 100 to 1,000 tons, because these individual states in the United States are also gathering gold. That's part of the economic thing they're not telling you. So this thing could change on a dime. There could be, as I say, a V-shaped recovery for this bad economy. That's one way they can get it back real quick. Another way is just turn the lights on, which is the easiest way, which is probably what they're going to do. So things are going to change here by the middle of next year, by summer of next year. So hang in there, guys. Make wise investment moves. Obviously, I do not tell people to buy gold because there's too much of it out there. But what I can say is reassess all of your thoughts on the economy, because it's fixing to change. This one move by this one small West African country is going to blow the lid off of economies around the world, because they have just done what Omar Gaddafi tried to do and they assassinated him for. They're trying to get a 100% gold-backed currency and a 100% gold-backed international bank of settlement for Burkina Faso. They are starting it as we speak. That changes the world economy. That is a poison pill to fiat fake money systems that are out there now controlling the world, going for a CBDC. It crushes that thought process. It'll take time to get around the world, but those who are smartest to see this, jump on board and make the moves necessary, you will profit in the long run. That is why I wanted to bring you guys this report as I got it, because no one else is talking about it yet. I wanted to be one of the first out there, other than the New African channel that brought that report, which I subscribe to, and I suggest you guys do too. Yes, Chad, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to go to a world global standard for monies. Every country's money's going to be backed by gold. Like gold. Oh, I wish I had it set up for Goldmember, where that guy's like saying, or Mike Myers, gold. But yeah, be prepared. This is the again. I'm not sure where it's going. Hey, you know what? Igor Thoreau could be assassinated, and this could all end. But the fact that he's following Omar Gaddafi's footsteps in what he tried, and the revolutionary step that he wanted to bring change to the world in Africa, Ibrahim Traoré seems to be doing the exact same thing. So no, Space Miner, none of them are. No platinum-backed currencies. Now, what a smart country should do, just like Burkina Faso, this is something a country could do, Space Miner. If, say, like, before South Africa mined out most of their platinum and sold their country out in 2011 to China and dropped the price of platinum, they could have made the move, since they controlled 80% of the platinum on the world. They could have stopped sales of platinum and backed their South African currency in platinum. And trust me, had they done that, they would be the wealthiest country on the planet. But no one's done that. Now, Canada, there's an American company owns the largest newly found platinum vein. And since Canada has no gold reserves, it is possible that they could take the value of that platinum vein that has not been mined yet, which is in the trillions, and they could say, okay, we're going to back our Canadian bill in platinum. And they might, you know, you'd have to be a forward thinker. You'd have to be an open thinker. You'd have to be an innovator and rule a country to be able to do it. And your country would have to have the mine in it, for which Canada does have the mine. But if Canada was smart when they opened that platinum vein up, the country of Canada will maintain partial ownership, as if say, hey, stick it in our vault. We're going to back our currency with platinum, and they'll be the only country in the world to do so. And when Canada's clean air energy does decide to start mining that platinum vein, it is the largest platinum vein on the world, and they will overtake South Africa as the majority platinum producer to the world. So that title is going to change from South Africa, and it's go to Canada, which is going to put the control of the platinum in the Americans' hands and not in BRICS' hands. So that's going to change in 5 years. That's going to crush BRICS. BRICS is gone if they're counting, and they are counting on platinum, because that's the only reason China got South Africa into BRICS. So once they lose that, I mean, the writing's on the wall as I see it for platinum. I mean, for BRICS, they're going to have to change like BTC did to stay relevant. And they haven't even started yet, and they're already going to have to change. So it's really, I mean, for all the hype and Padu and whatnot, if you seriously sit back and take a non-emotional look at it and see the future of it with all these new events coming up, well, for one, Burkina Faso, backed by Russia themselves, is coming up with gold standard. Well, isn't Russia part of BRICS and going against the gold standard and wants to do a digital currency and all this other stuff? So then why is Russia backing a country that's going to crush that? Makes you think. Makes you think that maybe they're trying to pull a head fake on this digital currency thing. And if they are, everyone caught up in the digital currency world just got the rug pulled out from underneath them. Because also this is a hit to BTC. Because I did not hear one thing about Ecuador buying BTC and running their whole little nation of 10 people off of BTC when you have a country that supplies 100 tons of gold to the world that every central bank on the planet is buying, going to a gold-backed currency. And hey, they've got a couple 100,000 people. They're about 20 times bigger than Ecuador. And they just took care of their terrorism problem and all the bad things that happened in their country. So why would Burkina Faso, why is it not being talked about more than the BTC controlled Ecuador that still has gang problems and all these other problems, and none of their problems have been fixed by BTC? But we're going to find out in the next couple months if gold fixes all the problems in Burkina Faso. And I think you're going to find out it does. So of those two countries that they're doing social experiments on to find out what is a better money system, is it going to be Ecuador or is it going to be Burkina Faso? Well, we actually get to live see with our own eyes in our lifetime this play out. This is a big chess move of economic proportion. You have one country, Ecuador in South America, Central South America, that's backed by BTC. What has happened to their country? Has it grown? What have they done? Have they improved countries around them? Have they increased their economy? No, 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 no. Okay, now let's look at Burkina Faso. They're going 180 degrees different. They've got gold. They stopped selling it. They're building their own refinery. They're going to 100% have a gold-backed currency in a gold-backed country that's associated with 14 other countries in their district that are following their lead actively and have been for years. So if you put the BTC-controlled Ecuador country and its greatness and godliness, and it's going to do everything in the world, not one country around them has benefited. Not one country around Ecuador follows Ecuador. Not one country around Ecuador has anything to do with Ecuador any more than they did when they had a regular currency. They have not gotten rid of any of their drug lords. They have not gotten rid of any of their gangs. They have not gotten rid of anything. Yes, it has been lowered in Ecuador, but it has not gone away. Now, you look at Burkina Faso, 50% of their gold was artisanal mining. It went straight to the terrorists in that area. That 100% just stopped. That means that the terrorists are no longer getting funded. That's a great change in the world, because that gold that was funding those terrorists in Western Africa was used to control terrorists around the world, doing activities in Israel, Gaza, Golan Heights. All that was controlled by money. The same money probably that was used, hold on, wait, listen for it. Same money that was probably used to take 10 million people and walk them 1 month through Mexico, from South Mexico to North Mexico, a 2,000-mile trip. 10 million people, 30 days. That means 300 million meals, 30 million gallons of water, just to get those people to walk from Nicaragua or southern Mexico up to Texas. That's how much it costs. 30 million gallons of water, 300 million meals, because it takes 10 million people 30 days to walk that distance. Each day they have to drink and eat. Who funded that? Well, I project it was funded by the artisanal mines and other illegal mining of gold, because it's not traceable. Now what Burkina Faso did is they took a lot of that illegal gold and they're taking it away from those terrorists that are funding all kinds of things that we don't know about because we can't follow the money. But I often ask the question, who funded those 10 million people walking 2,000 miles? Who fed and watered them? Who kept them safe? Who gave them directions? Logistics of that are in the billions of dollars. So someone spent billions of dollars to bring 10 million plus people from all the way through the 2,000-mile walk through Mexico to America. That was billions of dollars of funding. Who funded it? We can't find out because they're either not talking about it, not looking at it, and not wanting to tell us who did it. My projection is that it was these illegal mines from the terrorist organizations that were getting this money, and that just ended. So what I see is over the past 3 years, a lot of things that have funded the bad stuff in this world have been coming to an end while people are playing economic games, trying to make things happen, throw us off of our game. It's a big, big cauldron of crap being stirred, and we can't actually figure out what's going on. But what I'm trying to do is show you indicators of what's going on and the outcomes of what's going to happen. You can come up to your own conclusions of what's going to happen when the only one of 187 countries on this planet goes to a 100% gold-backed economy, money system, and trading system. And oh, by the way, they also provide a lot of gold to the central banks that are buying it, that can no longer buy it. See, I got lots of questions. So when you watch my show and you think I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm actually not an idiot. I actually do know what I'm talking about. It's the fact of trying to get other people to understand the bigger picture, because we've all been confused because everyone's selling some line of bull crap on what's actually happening. No one's asked the question, how do you feed 10 million people over a 2,000-mile walk? How much does it cost? Okay, where do they get the money? These are things that you should ask questions about. Because if you ask questions about them, you come up to conclusions like, well, maybe they're getting them from illegal mines that aren't being counted in the gold coming out of the earth, and they're using that money because they do need billions of dollars to do it. At least $1 billion to get 10+ million people a 2,000-mile walk or 1 month walking journey. So if you put it all together, I can't say conclusively, but what I can say is, well, that's a clear and present funneling of money possibility that went from Burkina Faso's illegal gold mining straight into terrorist hands, straight into the hands of whoever was paying that $1 billion+ to get those people to walk, because they're looking for a return on investment. What is the return on investment on over $1 billion paying to have 10+ million people enter into a country? What is the financial gain you're going to get from spending that $1 billion? People just don't spend $1 billion out of the kindness of their hearts to get people to a better life. That's bullshit, and you know it. So what is their end game? Where is their financial payoff? Now you look at our political system here in America in the past 8 years and see what's happened. But then you'll find out, okay, if you're going to plan $1 billion expenditure, getting 10 to 15 million people together to walk, okay, logistics, it takes a little bit. So then they're walking across. Then someone comes along, starts building a wall, screws up your deal. So what do? You attack them politically. You try and tear them down. Now you find out who's trying to tear them down. Okay, well, is it possible that the people who are trying to tear down the guy who wanted to build the wall are the ones that are part of the funding of that $1 billion? And they also might have possibly got paid off, and their end game is cash to sell our country out, considering that seems to be what the status quo of the day. That seems to make sense. Do I have any proof for it? No, none whatsoever. I'm just following pathways. The pathway of least resistance when you look at the big picture, and then you add everything else into it as you're looking at that big picture. Hey, thank you for stopping by, Crystal Ham. Have a great meeting. Make a lot of money. Buy some gold with it. Don't tell anyone I said buy gold. I hardly ever say it. But if you look back and you sit back and you look at the big picture of everything, what I just said made sense. Is it true? No, it just makes sense. Is there other things that could make sense? Yes, other things could make sense. I would appreciate if you would leave in the comments what you think makes sense. At a big picture, step back and look at a big picture. The whole world is changing, so you can't just look at one country. You got to step back. You got to go back to the moon and look at the world and say, okay, the whole little blue globe is changing. All 187 countries are changing. Where are they going? What games are they playing? Then you see the chessboard. Okay, they're playing games. This goes, this goes, this goes. They're using economics. They're using social experiments. They're using DEI. They're using lots of things to make these economic and political changes. And then you sit back and you look at the board, and then you find out, okay, well, this takes money. Where would they get the money? Okay, this takes logistics. Who can afford to do the logistics? And then you come back into the world and you say, okay, well, I got these answers from looking at the outside, looking in. Now I'm on the inside looking out, and I'm seeing a clearer picture. Then all of a sudden, Burkina Faso stops all gold exports, builds their own gold refinery, because they damn sure probably were getting a lot of gold stolen from them at whatever refinery they had sent it to. So there was a lot of theft of gold going on before this happened too. So what's that doing? Okay, well, that's going to defund. What Burkina Faso just did was defunded a lot of criminal organizations by taking away their possibility and probability of theft of the resources of that country undocumented so they could be used for illegitimate purposes. Makes sense. Why else would they stop it? Because they want to keep the money in-house. That must mean a lot of money was leaving and they knew about it, but they couldn't stop it till now. How much money? I'd say half their gold. I'd say probably about 40 tons a year was leaving their country without them knowing about it, funding all kinds of nefarious things throughout the world. So this could stop that. I'm just saying, and since Russia has moved into West Africa and started backing all these coups, well, it looks like terrorism actually is on a downswing in those areas of the nation, of the world, that people also don't talk about. Because when America and the UN was there, terrorism and terrorist training camps were big in West Africa. Now that America and France and the EU got kicked out and Russia moved in, it looks like a lot of those terrorist camps have been destroyed and all those guys have been killed and now all their money's being taken from them. I'm just making observations. I'm not saying Russia's backing the good guy, but it seems like Russia's backing the good guy. So if Russia's going to back those guys and they're doing this, then you look at our administration, you say, oh, wow, so we must now be Russia and Russia must now be America, in a sense. So things are weird, things are screwed up, things are messed up, but Burkina Faso doing what they're doing, I think, is the key linchpin to a lot of change that's going to happen, because a lot of people are now being defunded of their free money. That means there's no more harems, no more people. They can't buy any more sex slaves because they don't have any of this free money they were getting from the gold fields of Burkina Faso and artisan mine. Yeah, indeed, C4. A lot of it's going there. That's why I mentioned Ecuador and BTC. They say BTC is untrackable and untraceable, just like gold is. If you don't tell people that you discovered gold, you can still use the gold and people still accept the value of the gold. It's just you didn't tell people about it so they could document the gold. So therefore, it's not traceable. Well, supposedly BTC is the same thing. It's down there in Ecuador. Hey, you know what else is in Ecuador? Coke. So it's possible from your statement, lots of gold going to fund the Coke trade. I say lots of BTC is going to do it as well. Just by the location of the country that's totally backed by BTC, being Ecuador. And that's where cocaine comes from, that part of the world. The cocoa leaf. But our main problem is China with fentanyl, because they can manufacture it at their chemical plants as cheaply as they want, and they can murder as many Americans as our administration will allow, by allowing 10 to 15 million people to come through. Oh, hey, would that be a financial gain of these people getting their $1 billion back? Bring $500 billion worth of fentanyl, kill a lot of Americans, get a lot of money. That pays for the $1 billion for those 10 to 15 million people to walk across the border. But anyhow, that's my rant. So I've done my rant. Does anyone have anything else to talk about? I just thought this was very, very important and had to do a live stream. Obviously, I never do them on Tuesday mornings, but it was too important, and I wanted to be the first one to get this out and give my point of view on it to the people who choose to come to the show and get my point of view. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it stimulates some thought, opens up some synapses pathways for you to think about things in a different light. Appreciate Space Miner showing us this video of his newest crystallized osmium pendant, which was beautiful, by the way. Please like, share, subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. God bless America. I am out, people. Thank you for joining me, and you guys have a great day.